Okay, level check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're getting levels. Okay, everyone, if you're listening on any of the platforms, 7:14 on my clock right now. We've got less than a minute before we go live. That is assuming I can get everything else started here. I've got all the other buttons pushed. Have to turn on the TV lights. Get the weather computer up and running. And add some graphics to it. I just have to... Okay, here we go. Got that there, all right. All right, I think I've got a good weather program put together for you. It's 7:15. Hi there, everybody. I'm Steve Horstmeyer, the Chief Meteorologist here at Fox 19 Now. And as soon as the weather computer comes up, it's trying to get going. And we'll have a weather camera shot. There it is. There's the weather camera shot, and there it is. Okay, that is a live shot right now from our camera in South Fairmont, which is just to the west of Interstate 75. The tower's up on a hill. The camera's on top of the tower, about 300 feet above ground level in downtown Cincinnati. And temperature's only 77 degrees. And if you take a look at the heat index values, they're either at or lower than the temperature because the humidity's low. And I tell you what, I got out this morning early, walked the dogs, and I just went out out of habit in shorts and a t-shirt, and it was chilly. Did a 4-mile walk, and by the time we got done with it, the sun was high enough in the sky that things were getting warm. But it'll be another chilly morning, actually a little chillier tomorrow morning, and many areas will drop down into the upper 40s. So jackets, sweaters, maybe whatever whatever works best for you is the way to go. All right, so nothing to talk about here. This is the satellite radar loop. You don't see any clouds. You don't see any rainfall. Weather station temperatures look like this. Liberty, you're at 74. Down in Falmouth, 75, along with Brooksville, 76 in Owenton. The Crittenden area at 77, along with Florence at 77. 74 in Mount Orb. Now let's see, not all the stations report heat index values, but notice they're all about the same, or in a couple cases cooler than the temperature, and that's what happens because heat index is only a way of expressing how quickly your body can cool in the conditions you've got. And so the heat index, when the humidity's high, is higher than the temperature. When the humidity's low, it goes lower than the temperature because your body can cool off more quickly. And I want to emphasize that the heat index does not take into account solar radiation load, does not take into account wind flow. So let's say you're working on a construction site and it's bright and sunny and you're kind of enclosed. Let's say you're down in a trench or something and you don't have a lot of wind flow. The combination of the solar radiation and the lack of wind flow can make it feel any worse. So don't forget that. If we get into any more hot weather this year, and we probably won't have a streak like we just got through, remember that solar radiation, so bright sunshine and lack of wind flow can make it feel worse than the heat index says. Okay, now what we're looking at here, let me go back to here. All this is cool, dry air from Canada. It extends from the East Coast all the way off this map into the Great Plains. And that is just a big mass of cool, dry air with those low dew points, low humidity. And let's watch what's going to happen with it. Okay, you can see it doesn't really give up. There's a little bit of sprinkle activity that may make it as close as Louisville, according to this model, Wednesday, but I don't think we see any rainfall. And let's see, this stupid security thing from corporate keeps popping up. All right, and then we see the blue doesn't really give up. And notice we never get back into the oranges and reds. That's the high humidity. What you have here is just an area where the humidity is a little bit higher. This is Friday evening, and that's right along a front. So right behind the front, watch what happens. Excuse me, we get more cool air, and it stays around the area for a while. So once we get into next weekend, we've got another delightful weekend with beautiful weekend outdoor weather, and it doesn't look like much, if any, of a chance of rainfall. So this evening, sun sets at 8:08. We're talking about 77 right now. That's the official temperature at the International Airport, dropping to 62 by 11 p.m. Overnight, we're looking at a low down to 53 degrees. That'll be about 8 a.m. Now, when the official temperature hits 53, now remember, the official temperature is done at CVG, And if you know anything about the geography of CVG, here's the Ohio River Valley. CVG is in northern Kentucky, up here above the river valley. It's kind of on a plain, flat area, although it's really a shallow basin, very shallow basin. So what you end up with is with many areas that are away from the city, so they don't have the heat of the city. They can be in valleys where, remember, cool air is more dense than warmer air, so as the air cools, it drains down into the valleys, and you get the coolest mornings in the valleys. So CVG isn't always representative of what the temperatures are like around the area. More often than not, many areas are better represented by Lunken Airport, which is down there almost at the junction of the Little Miami River and the Ohio River. Okay, so many areas tomorrow morning will be in the 40s. And then again, if you head out the door, we'll have dry roads, clear skies with sun glare. If you're driving into the sun, that sun glare will be an issue tomorrow. And I put the not in big all caps just to emphasize not humid for a change. Temperatures upper 40s to the middle 50s. Okay, now here is what the Climate Prediction Center says. This is their forecast. The current one was updated at 3 o'clock, or by 3 o'clock today. Near normal over a good portion of the eastern U.S. How did we get to the 8 to 14 day outlook? Okay, we're supposed to be doing the 6 to 10 day outlook now. Somehow I skipped that, and I see why. I forgot to include it in the list. So give me a second, and we're reloading the 6 to 10 day outlook, and we'll restart the program from that point. Okay, so the 6 to 10 day outlook has the Fox 19 Now viewing area cooler than normal, with a near normal area out to the west and hot weather way out to the west. Okay, and what we're going to look at then when we go to the 8 to 14 day outlook, that cooler than normal area kind of washes out, moves off to the east, and we end up near normal through the 16th of September. Okay, so that says to us, well, even though we can't really tell you specific temperatures 14 days out, we can give you a good idea of the trend, and the trend is we're not going to see a repeat of the really hot weather. I mean, if you're a construction worker, if you work on building roads, I ride my bike to work often, and there's a road that's right along the Ohio River called Riverside Drive that heads into downtown Cincinnati from the east, and they've been replacing big water lines. These are 60-inch inside diameter pipes. So, I mean, if I was standing in them, they come up to about here. And they have to put trenches in the road that are 15 feet wide, 15 feet deep. And these guys are working in some of the hottest weather, and they're going to have such a great way to finish up that job with the cooler weather coming in. So, that's what we're looking at, near normal weather. And then if we go to the outlook, which goes from the 14th to the 27th, we warm back up to warmer than normal. Although I think the 9th of October is the latest we've ever seen a 90-degree high temperature in Cincinnati. That's not going to happen this year the way it looks now. Okay, let's skip that. Okay, so the rainfall forecast for September 3rd to September 30th, based on the climate forecast system, is 1.6 inches of rain. Now, I like to always caution people about this because even though 1.6 inches is a pretty good target figure for what we can expect, rainfall at this time of year is still the summer variety. And what I mean by that, it happens more in pop-up thunderstorms here and there. Very rarely do we get a line of widespread rainfall. We may see some of that Friday because the models typically have been underdoing the rainfall. So right now it says scattered showers. It might be a bit more widespread as that front comes through, but typically when we get seasonal rainfall in the summer and the warm season, it's typically pop-up showers and thunderstorms. You know how it is where you can get an inch of rain, your neighbor down the road got nothing, or somebody up the road got 3.5 inches of rain. That's what happens. So the climate models say you can expect maybe 1.6 inches of rainfall. Now, if we add on to this graph, you can see that 1.6 inches of rainfall. Here's the normal is right here. Okay, normal rainfall for that stretch of time. That is from the 20. That is from. Okay, that is all the way up until we get to September 30th. The time scales here is wrong, but the numbers are right. So I did something wrong putting this graph together, but the numbers here are correct. So normal rainfall is 2.91 inches, 1.6, that's 1.3 less than normal, and we'll be about 3.2 inches less than what we need. And so if you're wondering whether or not the dry weather is going to continue, it's definitely going to continue. And if you want your lawn or your garden to be healthy going into the winter, then in other words, it's more than just the plants that are above the ground, but the root systems themselves. If they have to be healthy going into the winter, survive winter, you're going to need to continue to water. We just don't see. Now that means a few spots may get an inch of rain every now and then and be okay, but for the most part, you can expect that you're going to need to continue to water around the tri-state with that rainfall so scarce. So in other words, we need 4.8 inches of rain. We call that the potential evapotranspiration. That means how much we might get, evaporation and transpiration by plants together is what we need. Okay, so if we got 4.8 inches of rain in this stretch of time, we would then end up with just enough to cover what we needed, but we'd still have that deficit that we built up to make up. So that's what I'm saying. We've got a deficit we're already way behind. It's going to take a lot of rain to make that up. It's going to take a lot of rain just to stay even, and so that's just not in the cards. So just count on dry weather continuing around the tri-state. Now here's what the Climate Prediction Center says. They have us in a big area of drier than normal weather. I mean, that's a big area, drier than normal weather. That's through the 16th. The same things, drier than normal weather. They're thinking, now this graphic will be updated on Friday, it was done last Friday, but they're thinking that we're going to go back to near normal and that drier than normal will pull off to the north. I'm not so sure, okay? I'm hoping it's true, but I'm not so sure. And again, if we get normal weather, or normal rainfall, that's just not going to be enough. We need a very wet weather pattern that lasts for a couple weeks and brings us rain at a rate that it can soak in without running off too much and recharge the soil moisture. And right now, that's not looking too promising through the end of the month. Here's your 7-day forecast. We're looking at temperatures tonight, dropping off to around 53, 82 tomorrow. Now, 53, again, that's for CVG. That's for the official location. Many areas will be in the 40s tomorrow morning, so kind of chilly as you head out the door. 59 and 85 on Wednesday. The Reds don't play tomorrow, but they do play Wednesday. They also play Thursday, and then they only have one more homestand, which is only like 5 games after that, and that's not until later in the month. And then notice, right now there's an evening chance of showers. I'm going to update that forecast. I mean, that was done based on older model data. The newest model data I've seen says no rain on Thursday whatsoever. I just haven't had time to update the graphic with everything else going on. Okay, Friday, a few showers in the area, maybe more than a few, maybe some more widespread rainfall as a front comes our way. But here's the key. Oftentimes at this time of the year, we have a front moving in. When that front's moving in, it is hot, it is humid, there's gobs of moisture in the atmosphere. And so as the front comes in, it lifts a lot of air, there's a lot of moisture to work with, and you get widespread rainfall. This front is moving into air that is fairly dry, so it probably won't be much in the way of rain, even though we would really like to have quite a bit of rainfall. Okay, Saturday, again, there's a slight chance of a shower. That's before dawn. It's daytime Saturday, clearing, breezy, and cooler. We may have to drop the high temperatures on Saturday and Sunday down a couple more degrees, and then Monday, 77 degrees. Okay, beyond the 7-day forecast, looks like this. And again, I'm going to need to update this, I think. I've been looking at what's going on, and I think we're going to have to lower some of those temperatures. Give me a second. Let me check the latest model run here. Got to go to just a minute. Okay, and we'll see what the latest data says. All right. I'm almost there. Sorry, always have an issue getting into this website for some strange reason, but you know how that goes. Okay, let me just go to a different account, and we'll get it here for you. What I'm looking for, I'm looking to take a look at what the latest forecast temperatures are. Okay, I'm almost there, and what I'll be looking at here is I'll be looking at the latest data coming off of what we call ensemble models. And let's say you take a model and you change the initial conditions. You say, oh, what if we would add a little bit more moisture? Oh, what if we take a little bit more moisture off? What if the jet stream is a little bit stronger? And those are all based on the potential error of the observations, and you put them in, you get these spaghetti plots. You've seen spaghetti plots for the tracks of hurricanes. Well, we can do the same thing. You can take a timeline and you can put a spaghetti plot for high and low temperatures, and that gives you an idea of the spread and the highest probability. And that's what we use a lot now, and it's a pretty nice looking, it's a pretty nice way of doing things. I don't know, this is just not, why this is just not working. Oh, I know why it's not working. People keep messing with me here. Okay, sync was turned off on my account, so I've got to put that back in. So just a second. Oh, second, confirm whether it's me, two-factor authentication. I'm almost there. Yes, it's me. Okay, so I'm in. Okay, now, sorry about this. I know I'm taking a lot of time. I hope I'm not wasting your time. But the numbers behind me is what we're trying to take a look at and update. You won't be able to see these on the screen. I'll just have to tell you what they are. Why does it keep doing that? It's asked me 3 times now to sign in, and now I think I've got it, but it's just sitting there spinning. But these numbers are based on ensemble numbers. Now, how many ensemble? There might be some ensembles have 50 runs, and as you take 50 different initial conditions and you run those models and see what happens. And so you might have as many as 50 runs. So we've got the American model, the global forecast, the GFS, the European model, we've got the Canadian model, and you can get ensemble runs off of the German model called the ICON model. And there are a couple other, there are a bunch of others. And when you look at all these, you can actually get a pretty good idea of the spread and how, I don't know what is going on here. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll tell you what, I can't look at them big, so I'm going to have to look at them on go via my phone. I don't know why I didn't do it this way to begin with. It would have saved us a lot of time. And in my phone, it automatically logs in. I don't know why. This computer's not in my office, so it's not letting me log in here either. So maybe they're down for the. They may be down because this one's trying to log in, but I'm getting the same thing. Okay, let's just skip that. But these numbers are based on many model runs. As a matter of fact, the numbers can be based on as many as 150 separate runs of 5 or 6 different models. And the ones I use, again, I use the American model, which is the GFS, the European model, use the Canadian model. I use the U.S. Navy's got an ensemble model. I use the ICON model. That's 5 right there. And usually if you've got those 5, you've got everything covered. So it's looking like the website that I use and get this data from is down. So we're not going to be able to look at that. But so these numbers kind of show you what the models are thinking, and it's kind of the average of what it's got. So what we're looking at on this trend is probably a little bit cooler here on out to the 15th of the month. So, and then we'll look at that in more detail over the next couple of days. But right now, the important thing here is that it looks dry all the way up to the 15th. So from now to the middle of the month, we may have a little bit of rain on Friday, ending Saturday morning, and then it may be the 15th and the 16th. Before we see any more rain the way it's looking at this point in time. Okay, and then so let's, so they must be down on the holiday or something. Okay, so let's go back to the weather computer and look at what our summary graphic looks like for this 14-day stretch. And here it comes right here. The high temperatures, the low temperatures, put the normal line on. And you can see we do have a warming trend, so we're going to dip for a while, a few days, at or below normal. And then as we head toward the middle of the month and past that, we're back up to warmer than normal. And again, we may have to modify those numbers a little bit and bring them down a little. Okay, I wasted enough time. Let me go here to Facebook page, or Facebook computer, and let's see, camera. Looking at this camera now, so we can look at that and take a look at what we've got as far as comments go. I hope most people are out just enjoying the weather. So I love being outside. Hello, this is Kim Webster. Hello. Hope I had a good day. Yeah, I had a pretty good day. Got up this morning. It was actually chilly when I walked the dogs, which is kind of a nice feeling. But I'm sure Jeff Beechler is going to ask me if it was cold enough for snow. Jeff, oh, there you are, Jeff. Look at that. No snow yet, Jeff, but at least it's a little closer than it was last week with those temperatures. How's my day? He loves this cool weather. And they have gotten no rain in Greenfield. And again, no snow. Okay, Jeff. Let's hope we get the rain first, Jeff. Jay Micheletti, how's the humidity coming up this week? I'm glad you asked that question, Jay. I'm sorry. I had that originally put in the show, and for some reason I forgot to turn that graphic on. So let me show you. The humidity is actually going to be really good, and we'll base this on dew points here. Oh, my gosh. There are 400 different graphics in this. Here we go. Okay, now, you know, and I'll show this to you full screen. All right, so let's show you this graphic full screen, and then I'll explain what it means. Okay, we're looking at dew point temperatures here. All right, and if you are talking about dew points, when you get up here to this red line, that's the 70-degree line. That's that really muggy, kind of sticky air that we have oftentimes in the tri-state. And I kind of used emojis to put them. And when you get up into the 60s, you start feeling it. Nasty in the 70s, in mid-70s, it's really bad. It's like New Orleans on a bad day. But look at this. Really comfortable, very comfortable, almost cool. If we get dew points in the upper 30s, that means there could be a few spots Sunday morning coming up that will dip into the low 40s for tomorrow for the morning lows. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this, but this is what the models are thinking. They're thinking we have a warming trend, so we go back up into the mid-80s, but we have low humidity, so it'll be nice mid-80s, and then it drops off. But remember, when you have low humidity, the air is generally more transparent, so it gives you more radiation load from the sun, and that can make it feel hotter. But overall, nice weather and then pleasant weather for the coming weekend. So right now, once the rain ends before dawn on Saturday, I think we've got a great looking weekend ahead here in the tri-state. Okay, let me see what other kind of questions we have. So Jay, I hope that answered your question about how the humidity is. Molly Purcell Pollock. Yeah, she's right. What a perfect Labor Day. I tell you what, you don't often get Labor Days that are this nice. You know, it's that time of year when it can still be awfully humid and hot. I remember as a kid going to Labor Day picnics and, you know, everybody just sitting around sweating because it was so hot. But overall, we just definitely had a nice one. And the only thing that I've noticed that's really kind of, okay, back to camera one. Okay, that's kind of nasty is that some of the trees are in my yard, and I mentioned this the last time, that was on Thursday, that we've got a lot of hackberry trees in and around my yard and our neighbors' yards, and they're notorious for losing their leaves when the weather's been very dry. And that's a survival mechanism because they don't need all the leaves to generate all the energy they need, so they drop some of the leaves so they don't have to put any effort or put any resources into that. But I tell you what, we've got leaves falling like crazy. So it's been dry, but it was a great day. I mean, I loved it. This morning it felt so nice to be out there walking our dogs, and it was actually kind of chilly as opposed to that other stuff we had for a long time. So I was real happy, Molly, and I'm sure a lot of people were. Hi, Beverly. Thanks for the compliments. Susan Wally Coriel Horn says, you're cracking me up. Love when you're trying to put your data in. Okay, yeah, and I didn't get it this time, and it's still spinning there, so I think their website's down. And Jeff Beach will say, you knew what I was going to ask before I asked it. Okay. Oh, so Molly says she's been rocking outside today. Nice to relax in the sunshine. And, you know, and I think this is an important day where we, we salute the American worker. And there aren't too many countries that have go back to World War II and just look at what the Americans did. They saved the world. That's because of the American worker that pitched in and did everything they could. So, but I tell you what, man, it was just, it's a great holiday. And I'm from a blue-collar background. Oops, I hit my mic. I'm from a blue-collar background. I'm blue-collar through and through. And I'm on the side of the American worker. The white fox, really, Kim? Okay. Oh, and then Susan Wally Coriel Horn also says her birch tree has no leaves left. Okay. Yeah, and I'm not as familiar with birch because I don't have any birches. The one I'm most familiar with is that loses its leaves, or the hackberries, because we have maples and we have locusts. We have a bunch of others around the area, and it seems like the hackberries are the ones that lose leaves first. Okay, those are all the comments. Let me go back here, and we will. I'll go back over the forecast, starting with tonight. Okay. And then we'll just go over again pretty quickly in case you joined late and you want to know what's going on. So we'll do the whole thing full screen as soon as I reset the computer. There we go. Okay, so the sun sets at 8:08, so we've got about 28 minutes with the sun above the horizon. It's dropping to 62 by 11 p.m., some spots even cooler than that. If you happen to live in a valley area out in a rural section of our viewing area, you'll probably see temperatures in the 50s, upper 50s by 11. Overnight, a low of 53. That means 40s in many, many suburban and rural locations. Your morning commute, roads will be dry, clear skies with sun glare, not very humid, temperatures in the upper 40s to mid 50s. Okay, then between now and September 12th, cooler than normal. Up to the 16th of September, near normal, so we get a little bit of a warming trend. And then the 14th through the 27th, almost the end of the month, we should be warmer than normal, okay? And then this was the drought monitor from last week. It'll be updated on Thursday, and it was pretty droughty, especially east of the city. But what's going to happen here, the climate models are saying 1.6 inches of rain can be expected by the 30th of September. Okay, we're talking about 4.8 inches needed, 1.6 forecast. The normal is 2.91 inches. And you always got to take into account the current situation. The current situation is a big deficit. So with 1.6 inches of rain by the 30th of September, we have no chance, according to this, to make up the deficit. We're just going to be really dry, it looks like, through the end of the month. And the Climate Prediction Center says that's true through the 12th. That's true through the 16th. And even though they've got us in near normal rainfall from the 14th to the 27th, near normal rainfall is not enough to make up for the deficit we have. So just count on it being dry. And for those of you that are just taking care of home gardens or your lawn, you'll need to keep watering. And farmers, I just don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's one of those things when there's not much you can do, except maybe pray. 53 and 82 on Tuesday, 59 and 85 Wednesday, 64 and 65 for the lows Thursday and Friday. Now, again, I told you I've taken out the evening chance of a shower on Thursday. I just haven't had time to update the graphic. I've got a few showers, thunderstorms maybe in Friday. Well, let's keep our fingers crossed that we get more rain out of that than it looks like we're going to get, but it's not that promising because the air here is dry. There's not a lot of moisture for a front to work with. Saturday and Sunday, we're looking at temperatures dropping off. Look at that. A low of 58 Saturday morning. The cool air rushes in, so Saturday, the rain will end before dawn. We'll have kind of a breezy, beautiful day. Sunday, a low of 50. Many areas Sunday morning could drop to like 42 or 43. Then on Monday morning, even cooler than that. I'm not saying upper 30s on a few spots yet, but definitely cool enough to go into the low 40s in some locations. Beyond the 7-day forecast, and I'll update these numbers here in a little while with some new models coming in, we are looking at temperatures basically in the 80s. And then here's your 14-day summary of the forecast. You can see high temperatures do warm back up above normal by the middle of the month. Low temperatures go back above normal, but not that much above normal. We are not talking about going back to hot conditions. Although we've had 90s in Cincinnati as late as the 9th of October, that does not look likely at this time. At this time, we're looking at maybe 80s and not a lot of humidity. I don't think we see a lot of steamy humidity around here now for the rest of the season. So that is it for this evening. I thank everybody. Let me see if there's anybody else in here. Greg Dennison just came across. Oh, wow. Greg Dennison said his pin oak trees, pin oaks, are dead. 30-year-old trees all dried up. Oh, my gosh. And oaks typically, grow on in drier soil, and so if they grow in drier areas, in other words, like sycamores grow where there's a lot of the high water table, so they can reach that. Oaks tend to grow where there's not as high a water table. It's kind of drier soil, so they start out drier, they get drier faster. Oh, I hate to hear that, Greg. 30-year-old oak trees dead. And Molly Purcell Pollock said, yeah, we do need rain. Her pond is almost gone. And Ethan Emery's dad, according to Ethan, has said the same thing. His pond is just about dried up. So, okay, well, that's it for now. Thanks, everybody, for joining. I'll be back tomorrow at the same time, 7:15, and we'll talk more about that. Again, the drought monitor comes out Thursday, and so we'll talk more about the rain situation when that comes back on Thursday. Have yourself a nice night, and thank you for joining me. And thumbs up to the American worker. Happy Labor Day.